here's our warm-up problem. And we're finding the slope of this line. And we need to tell us it's horizontal, vertical, rising, or falling. Can it be two of those? Can a line ever be two of those, horizontal and vertical, or horizontal and falling? Could it? This 4 right here is horizontal, right? Is there any way that it's also falling or rising? All right, so let's take a look at this. So, very first thing I'd like you to do is to do what before you actually start the problem? Label the points. So let's label them real quick. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. So my slope formula says Y2 minus Y1. Uh-oh. Notice how you use the 2 3 different times, but there's only 2 of them up there. So let's fix that real quick. We don't need to fix a whole lot, which makes it actually very nice. But that's going to change to 4 minus 4. What's 4 minus 4? 0. So if it's 0 divided by 0, it gives me a 0. How many of you have 0 divided by negative 4? That's also fine. Both are correct. Now, if the slope is 0, which one is it? Well, what words should be popping in your head then? What famous words did I yell in this class several times? Playbox. Well, toy says it should be what kind of a line? There you go. Horizontal. Okay, so this line here is horizontal. Now, you have to really be careful with this slope because it's very common to make that little mistake, right? So you want to be careful with that. Now, let's talk about the equation. I wonder what the equation would look like for these 2 points. Well, according to Toy, what does the equation have to start with? Perfect. Perfect. Y equals, point to somebody. You get the pick. What does y equal in both of those points? 4. And that's how I would write that equation just from those 2 points. Only knowing the word toy box, right? Well, that actually gets us into our next lesson. So at this time, turn to your table of contents. And today, we're going to write equations of lines. And I've got 2 forms up here for us. So right here I have the 2 forms that you need to have memorized for this class. Raise your hand if you can tell me what the name of the first form is. Perfect. Slope intercept. Slope intercept form. Now, most of you have that one memorized, right? Raise your hand if you have that memorized. Perfect. So it's that second one. That one that's a little weird. That maybe we'll have a little trouble with remembering. But I guarantee by the end of this week you'll have it memorized. But raise your hand if you know the name of it. That is right, it is. Point, slope, point. Now, knowing their names will actually help us when we're writing equations. Because if I'm given a slope and an intercept, I'll probably go with slope-intercept form. If I'm given a point and a slope, I'll probably go with point-slope form. Now, does this equation look familiar? Some of you are saying yes. Why? Raise your hand and tell me why does it look familiar. Where have you seen it before, maybe? Nate? Ah, wait a second. So, Nate, you said, hey, it looks like the slope formula we just talked about, right? That's right. It is. It's actually a derivative of that formula. Let's say we were trying to solve for this part up here. how do I get that part by itself? How do I get that y2 minus y1 all by itself? Well, how do I move this over here? That's all I really want to know. Yeah. So Chandler said multiply by the x2 minus x1, right? Then I'm left with y2 minus y1. Notice these are almost the exact same formula. The only difference is they don't use the little 2. Because when I'm using point slope form, I only use one point. I don't need that second point. So see how they relate to something you already know? Well, let's try our first one. Here I have this beautiful graph. Take a second, redraw that graph in your notes. And then I want you to discuss with your group the key pieces that you see in that graph. So, I've let you discuss in your group on purpose because Cassidy's actually going to pick a group this time, and I'm going to pick a group role. So pick any group you'd like in here. Perfect. And let's go with your task manager. Who's your task manager? Oh. Uh-oh. Okay, perfect. Tell me one thing you see in this graph. What about the line? Okay, so you know that the slope then is positive or negative? Perfect. Okay, so she was able to give me that much so far. You should be able to tell that from a graph, right? Take a group for me. This group? Let's go with your gopher. Who's your gopher? Gopher. Tell me something else you notice about this graph. Three, 1. Okay. So one of the points is 3, 1. All right, pick a group. That group, let's go with your leader. Who's your leader? Angela, what do you notice about this? 0, 2. Do you know what else I could call that? 2, but what line's it on? What axis? The vertical or the y-axis. So that would be my y-intercept, right? So I'm going to call that B is 2. Okay? You should be able to pick that out, right? You should be able to pick out the y-intercept. Angela, pick a group. That one. Let's go with your gopher. Okay, gopher, you've only got one piece left. You should be able to read the slope for me. What is it? Okay, Caleb, remember slope is rise over run. So how far down do you go? 1, and let's count over. So my slope is negative 1 over 3, right? Something you should be able just to read from a graph. Now all of this is stuff you should have been able to do, mainly because you just took a quiz on it, right? Now let's write our equation. Which form should I use? Should I use point slope form or should I use slope intercept form? Slope intercept, because I'm given a slope and an intercept. That's perfect. So let's fill it in. Y equals negative 1/3 x plus 2. And that's how I would write that equation based on the graph. Okay? So when you're discussing in your group, a couple of things that I heard was, I see a line. Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. You should be able to develop a little bit more than I see a line at 2 points. Tell me about those 2 points. Okay? So, here's our next one. Write down your key pieces of information first. You do not have to write down the entire problem, but you do need to write down the 2 key pieces. Then, write your equation right underneath there. Caleb, pick a group. Age group. All right. Nobody spoke in age group yet, right? All right. Let's go with your timekeeper. Who's timekeeper? timekeeper. Perfect. Y equals 5x minus 3. Raise your hand if you had a different answer. Slightly different, maybe. Caleb? That would also work. Wanted to point out that both equations are the same. That make sense? That was an easy one, right? Nice and simple. Well, let's do another one. But go ahead and write down your key pieces of information again. And now it's going to be a little bit more difficult. Write down your key pieces of information again. Two key pieces you should be writing down. When I do a notebook check, these two pieces should be in your notebook. That's coming up soon. Now, I didn't ask you to write the equation yet, just write down the two key pieces. Mason, pick a group. And you two have already spoke, right? Who do you want to pick? You've got 2 left in your group. This works out well. It doesn't matter. Who wants to go first? Because the other person's going to go too. Perfect. Give me one key piece. Perfect. All right, Allie, that leaves you with the other key pieces. Perfect. Okay. Not too difficult. All you have to do is write those 2 key things down. And now, undefined. When that word comes into play, what word pops in your head? Toy box, right? And some of you are already like, Mizzy, it's box. You only need the one piece. But I'm going to write down both. Toy box. And some of you already told me box. Because it's undefined, box would be the word. Okay. And that tells me the equation should start with what letter? X. X equals? What does my X equal in the point that Allie gave me? -2, right? And that's my equation. That's it. So when you see a 0 slope or an undefined slope, those are the 2 words you should be writing down. How many of you write them down every time it pops in your head? That's a good thing. If you just raised your hand there, that's a good thing. You're just trying to keep it in your head. It doesn't help all the time. Write those words down instead. Okay, so one more practice try. Write down your 2 key pieces of information. And then go ahead and write your equation. Allie, you were the last one to speak in your group. Point to a group. That group. Who was the one that Brianna did, right? Brianna, pick somebody. Chandler, give me one key piece of information. Slope 0, pick somebody else in your group. Good. My point is 5, 2. And that leaves you with a lovely equation, Rain. What is it? Y equals 2. Because the word toy popped in her mind, right? So I know it has to be Y equals, and the Y is 2. Raise your hand if you got that one. Excellent. You guys see how I came up with that equation very quickly, right? All right. So here's our next one. Write down your 2 key pieces of information, and then we're going to do this one together. Okay. So I've got 2 key pieces of information. I'm going to guess you guys already have them written down. -3, 4, my slope is 2/3. Rain, pick a group. I've used everybody in that group, sorry. And you were the last one to talk to. You want to pick? All right. You have 2 famous equations. Which of those equations do you think I need to use here? You can look back at your notes at the 2 names. That's going to help you. What is this called? A point, and this is a... So which form should I use? Yeah, because those are the 2 things I'm given, right? Let's use point slope because those are what I'm given. First thing you always do, write down the equation. I want to see the equation like it is every single time on the homework assignment. Why? Raise your hand and give me a reason. Why would I want that? So you remember it. Because on Thursday's quiz, I will not give it to you. You have to have it memorized. If you write it down 3 times, you'll probably remember it, right? Okay. Next thing you always do, label your point. X1, Y1. And now let's just fill it in. Y minus 4 equals 2/3 x minus -3. Be careful writing in that equation. Notice how it says a minus and then a -3. I have to put both of those so that then I change it to plus a positive. Now let's just simplify. What is 2/3 times x? Perfect. Now, in here it is necessary to multiply fractions, meaning you need to be able to multiply 2/3 times 3. 2/3 times 3 over 1. 2 times 3 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. What is 6 divided by 3? 2. Now, on Wednesday, I'm actually going to give you a worksheet where these come out fractions over here. I'll show you how to work with the calculator to help with the fraction part. So now we're going to add 4, right? So I get y equals 2/3 x plus 6. And that is the equation. Any questions? Pretty easy? All stuff you've done before though, right? Okay. So let's have a practice try. Here's another one for you. Write down your key pieces of information. Write down your blank equation. Fill it in. Solve it for y. Make sure, once again, when you write this down, you write down the blank equation, and then you fill it in. So let's go ahead and do that. I've got a minus a negative. That means y plus 2. Negative 4/3 times x is negative 4/3 x. Negative 4/3 times -3 is close. Positive 4. Positive 4. 2 negatives make a positive. So I'll subtract 2. And I get y equals negative 4/3 x plus 2. Raise your hand if you got that right. Good. Good. If you messed up, make sure you do fix that. But at this time, you'll have to pull out a piece of paper for your essential work. A candid piece on paper. You can split that up. Some of you probably have extra paper already. Top right-hand corner goes your first and last name. Underneath there goes period 3. Make sure you do write your period on there. And then underneath there goes the lovely assignment, which is these problems here.